Hello everyone, welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful tutorial, learn about how to do natural language processing with another package called Polyglot. So what is Polyglot? So Polyglot is a powerful Python library that works just like TextBlob. So the learning curve and the API for Polyglot and TextBlob is not that different. So if in case you know TextBlob, you can easily pick up on Polyglot. So Polyglot is very powerful, and then it supports several languages. So let's see how to install it. So to install Polyglot on your Unix system, Linux or Macintosh, just go with sudo apt-get install Python NumPy and then this particular dependency, right? Then just go with pip install Polyglot to be able to work on it perfectly. If you're on Windows, you first can just go with pip install Polyglot, but sometimes it may fail. So in case it fails, you just follow with this step. You download this particular files, packages PyCLD and then PyICU from this URL, which is this place, right? So just go to this particular URL, then you search for this PyCLID. So you can have it for Windows 3.7, 3.6, not for Python 3.7, 3.6, and then several of them. So after downloading them, just go to install the particular package you downloaded. Same for the Professor, which is a morphological analysis library package. So after that, you just clone this URL and then you build it from scratch, right? Python setup py.install. That is how to solve it in case it's not working on Windows. So there are other models that you need, which is the embeddings, any error statements, part of speech tag, and then several of these things, which is very useful. So you can just download it and use it perfectly. So let's see how to do that. So just copy this one here, and then let me show you how it's done a simple way. That's going to be this. Then it's going to download a particular part of speech target for English, right? Okay, that's already finished. So it's already installed. That is how to do that perfect. Okay, now let's see how to work with it. Some of the usefulness of this particular library is that you can use to do all the stuff all the basics of NLP, tokenization, part of speech tagging, and several of them. But there's some other interesting stuff you can be used to do. You can use to do transliteration, can also be used to do name entity recognition, and then sentiment analysis, as well as language detection. And then for the sentiment analysis, you can even do it to the point of an entity level, which is very interesting. So let's see how to work with tokenization. So tokenization simply is splitting a particular sentence into its individual words or tokens. So just first of all, let's load our package. So import polyglot, and then from polyglot.test. So you can just go without the import polyglot, right? Okay, so now let's see an example of our text that we're working with. So just go with test and supply a test. In case you're working with TextBlob, you could have done something like blob. Yes, right? So it's almost the same thing, right? Perfect. So it's not that difficult. Perfect. Then I'm going to apply my test. He likes reading and painting. Something like this, right? So if I write this particular I want to analyze this particular stuff to tokenize them, I can easily make it with this. So docs dot words, right? Then it's going to analyze them, create a word list with all our particular stuff for us, which is very interesting. So let's give it something difficult. So docs 2, then our test, then Unicode. I'm going to give it a difficult sentence. Let's see how it's going to analyze this particular sentence. So docs 2 dots words. Perfect. It's able to analyze it. Not that bad, right? So that is how to do word tokenization with Polyglot. Now let's see how to do sentence tokenization. So to do sentence tokenization, we use the same sentence that we have here. So let's call it as docs 3. That's 3, right? For our sentence, and then go to have the same stuff we have. So we had our Unicode sentence here. I'm going to use the same stuff we had here. We had this particular stuff we have to get the sentence tokenization for all of these things. It's going to be docs 3 dot sentences, and then it's going to analyze them so that it's able to, not that bad, it's able to analyze it for us, and then it's able to give us something interesting, right? But it's not that best, but it's okay, right? Perfect. So that is something interesting about this particular library. Now let's check how to work with part of speech tagging. Okay, so you have to install this particular stuff. So let's go with the same stuff we had. So docs, it was the first one that we had. If I want to find a part of speech for this, I just go with docs.pos for the tag. So we have the tagger and then the tags, right? Then I can just go straight away. Then see that it analyzes it perfectly for us. So he pronounced verb, reading verb, and which is very interesting. So it is easy for us to do part of speech tagging. And let's move on to language detection. So how do you do language detection? So there are two methods. So first of all, we had our test here, which was, we already know that it's in English, right? So if you want to detect a particular language, you can just go with this, our the language dot name. You can either go with dot name, which is going to give us as English, or we can just go with dot language dot code, right? If I go with code, it's going to give us as EN as the language, which is very interesting. So that is something interesting. Now let's see another method. So apart from using this is the normal basic ones, language.name and then language.code, you can also use polyglot.detect. So let's see how to do that. So I'm just going to create some stuff and I'm going to import the detector. So from polyglot.detect, right? Now then we have the creator and we have detect. So I'm going to import my detector. Perfect. So with this particular detector, we'll be able to detect whether a particular sentence is French or any of these languages based on the language you have downloaded. So I have some sample text here, which we're using to see. So I'm going to pass it here, right? Perfect. So we have English, French, and then Russian. So it's a student, on student, right? Perfect. So how do we check on it? So to check on it, we're just going to go with our text that we had. So let's call it as our text, right? Text English. Then we're going to supply it as detector, right? Then we're going to pass in my English test, test. So with this, if I run it and then say that detector is not able to detect the language reliably, so it's going to give you some percentage, right, of how it is, right? How accurate it is, something like an accuracy score or prediction score. It's going to be like our detect English, then dot our language. So language, so it's given us as language or languages. So the languages is in case it's a complex sentence with a lot of things, you can use dot languages. So that has given us some. So if I want to get the full stuff, just print it out. Perfect. So it's given us that this is English, the code is EN, and then the coordinate is 94, which is not that bad. Actually, it's English. So let's try the same thing for our detect for, let's say, French, right? Whether it's going to work. It mostly depends on the particular module that you have downloaded. So it's going to be French, right? French text. Perfect. Let's run this and see whether it's going to give us another option. So this here, check it and see. Perfect. So it's able to detect that this is French. Very, very interesting. If I change this same thing for Russian, it's also going to detect that it is also Russian, which is very interesting. So it can be used to do a lot of stuff. That is for language detection, and then how you, and then perfect, right? It was able to tell us that it's Serbian. It was not able to tell us that it's Russian, but I think Serbia, all of them are almost Russian Slavic languages. So that is quite interesting. So let's move on to how to do sentiment analysis with this particular package. So we had a test. Let's give that .4 or .4, right? We have our .4, our document 4, and I'm going to supply my test and then some sentiment analysis. So the sentiment analysis I want to do is something interesting. So we already learned about this test we had, which was docs1, right? So docs1 is he likes reading. So he likes reading can do sentiment analysis on this particular stuff instead of creating another one. And to do sentiment analysis on this particular stuff, you can just go straight away with our docs dot polarity, and it's going to list it perfectly for us 1.0, which is a positive polarity, right? If I change this one to he doesn't, like he hates reading and playing, so what does he love? So with this, if I do the same stuff for here, it's going to either give us a negative polarity or a less reduced polarity. So 4 dot polarity, so that's giving us a negative polarity. That means that's a negative sentiment, which is very, very interesting. So it is useful and then very, very powerful. Okay, now let's see how to work with name entities with this particular stuff. So let's give another one for docs 5, right? Our document 5. I'm going to supply my test. So test underscore or Unicode, not underscore. Unicode, and then so John Jones was a FBI detector, right? You have so detector. So if I check this particular stuff, it's going to tell us the organizations, the people inside the stuff. So you can just go with docs 5 dots 5 dot entities. So entities is going to list all the entities for us. Perfect. So that the I here, right? I person is a person, right? John and James, and then John Jones, and then ABS is an organization. So it's very, very interesting to do named entities with this particular package. And let's move on to the last one, and then you end. So morphology is simple. We can use to do some morphological analysis by finding the morphemes, right? So morphemes is just like a smallest grammatical unit in the language, just like words, but the difference between the morpheme, whatever the name is, and then a word that morpheme may stand alone or may not stand alone. Trying to find all the syntactics of a particular word. So to do that, let's give an example of what's 6, right? And let's give it a particular task. You can use test or you can use words. So we already imported words to test, right? And let's give it something interesting. So let's give some pre-processing. If I have this pre-processing here and I want to find the morphological analysis of this particular stuff to find the morphemes, right? I don't know how to pronounce it. You just go with the same thing, docs 6 dot morph, right? So morpheme analyzer and morphemes. We want to break it perfectly for us. So this is the morpheme for this. This is pre. Pre is a word on its own. It's a unit, right? Grammatical unit on its own. Process is another one, and then ing is also another one. Which is very interesting. So can use to help us analyze a particular sentence. So this is similar to parts of speech, but it is quite different, right? Okay. Now let's see transliteration. You can also use the same particular package to do transliteration. So from Polyglot transliterator, imports transliterator, you need to have all the different available models to allow it to work perfectly. Otherwise, sometimes it can give us errors. So if I want to transliterate it, just use the same stuff and then it can fail or it can give us something working, right? So you need the particular models to allow us to work. So thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have any question or contribution, you can just put inside the comment section so everybody can benefit. And please don't forget to subscribe. Stay blessed. The notebook will be below, and then check the links below for more. Stay blessed.